Moose says it's best to talk things out. So, here I am, talking. Mom bought the kittens and Dad drowned them. That's the facts of it. I don't like speculating much, that's one step away from guessing, and the sheriff, she taught me never to guess. Mom's version was that Dad loved things too much. Got a bit crazy sometimes, hugged real hard. Didn't always want to let go. The morning he stuffed them in a bag and took them out to sea, he was full of too much feelings. Didn't know what to do with them. He took them down to Journey's End, out behind the bed and breakfast. It's where the journey ended. Jeez, Dad always wore these masks, you know? For the longest time, you figure you know someone. Most of the time, really, we got no idea. Stay safe. Now the Walking Dead? I can wrap my head around that. They're dead folk, just walking is all. But those other things? Tall and pale, slimy as maggots. They washed up with the fog. They came and dragged the townsfolk out to sea. Drowned them. Just like my dad with the kittens. He took them out to sea in a garbage bag. Said they were gonna go for a swim. Said they needed the exercise. They never came back. A few years later, neither did my dad. Jeez, I still miss those kittens. The townsfolk, they did come back, dragging what looked like eggs. The big ones, they come out of those eggs, like something from Invasion of the Body Snatchers. They're littered all over the place and guarded, and I'm thinking to myself, Andy, that's gotta mean something. That's gotta be a clue. Why keep an eye on something if it ain't valuable? That's police work. That's deduction, plain and simple. So I'm thinking, what came first, the maggot or the egg? Obviously the egg, right?
Back in my old life, I always wondered what was around the corner I didn't take, down the road I didn't go. That's how I ended up here, up to my elbows in machine grease, rigging bombs. Relax, my friend, I got plenty of experience blowing shit up. I got a handle on death and the instruments thereof, and no desire to see the infinite darkness claim any of us quite yet. These mechanical servants of the Reaper will stay still and silent till I'm good and ready to push that button. Traveling the big countries taught me everything from bull riding to bonsai, enough to cause a man to lose his appetite for destruction. But circumstances require us to yield to the greater good, even when that greater good isn't all that pretty. Road here said I'd be pitching in with soft-shell lobster season. Instead, I found nightmare country, maybe the very rotten heartland of it. But I'm philosophizing. Life is sacred. Every moment is precious. Which brings us right back around to blowing up dead guys. I've got no shortage of time or ideas. What I'm lacking is the nuts and bolts of it. I could fill a shopping cart down Main Street, but getting out there and back, that's what's kicking my ass, my friend. There's nothing like the confines of a cubicle or a packed subway to give a man perspective. I was so caught up in the grind of office politics and the endless hunt for affirmation and money, I didn't realize I was getting sick. Friend, I was no more lithe than those things out there, and a sight less mobile. The disease that grew inside me was as black as theirs. Freedom lies in being bold, said Robert Frost. So, I boldly quit my job and traded my rent-controlled apartment on Christopher Street for a vintage Harley and an old poncho. Found my salvation in the open road, and I haven't looked back since. Traveling the open country, you learn to be prepared for whatever the land throws your way. Faced with the elements, you gain a new appreciation and respect for nature. You come to accept how small and insignificant you truly are. Nature is neither good or evil, it just is. But there's nothing natural about the storm that rolled in on Solomon Island, or the fog that followed. There was evil in that fog, whispering to everyone in its path. The townsfolk followed the fog back into the sea, as if possessed. It was Deputy Gardner, Andy, saved my life. He grabbed hold of me when the fog got into my head, tied a rope around us both, kept walking the other way. It was like the whispers didn't get to him. When I finally got my wits back, the fog had rolled back out again to where it is now. We shook hands, and we started looking for survivors and building this fortress. That man saved my life, selflessly, and I love him for it. I'd go to the ends of the world and back for Andy. I don't think I'll ever win him over, though. Living on the razor's edge of society, your eyes open up to the possibility that there's something more to this world. Something most people are too blind or too preoccupied to notice, even if it's right under their noses, and has been all along. I only noticed small things at first. Roads that appeared and disappeared, folks who traveled by way of gates drawn in chalk on brick walls, houses bigger on the inside than on the outside, magic trinkets sold at yard sales, street shamans capable of taking out the cancer inside you. But it wasn't until I found myself face to face with werewolves in New Orleans that I realized there's a secret war going on. After that, I couldn't escape it. I saw signs and sigils everywhere. I'd met recruiters for the Templars, Illuminati, and the Dragon. They all seemed to think I'd make a useful operative. I'd tell them I'd take no sides, and that I'd be little use to them. But the United Against Darkness thing I can get behind. We're all in this together, and we've all got work to do. Andy and Helen, Deputy Gardner, Sheriff Bannerman, they're the reason I stayed behind when I could have just gone. I know the secret roads. I know how to ride out of here, through places the fog can't touch. But folks like them and the rest of the survivors here at Kingsmouth deserve better. I'm not putting you on the spot here, friend. I know you got other places to be, other wars to fight. Which is why it's doubly important I stay behind. There's an honesty and an innocence to these people, and they genuinely know and care about one another. Of course, I can't claim total selflessness. My heart's gone soft for Andy. And even if he'll never feel the same way for me, as long as this heart's beating, I won't let any harm come to him.